We met, like, original meeting was Tucker was good friends with my older sister Tiffany, and so he came, they both went to Howard Payne, and I guess you came home with Tiffany one weekend for something, I don't know why, and so that's when we originally met. I was a senior in high school, I think, when we met. And then I went to Howard Payne and Tucker was still there. You can jump in at any point. But Tucker was still there, so I had a huge crush on Tucker starting when I was a senior in high school. And continued to have a huge crush on him. He did not know I existed while I was at Howard Payne.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is.
But I was dating another girl at the time.
He was.
So
then he left, and then we originally like.
I graduated. I didn't leave. All right. I agree with that.
And we met up again when he was staying with my family my senior year of college over Thanksgiving because he was on his way to Oklahoma. And
yeah, I kind of forget how that all worked out now, but I was driving from Houston to Tulsa for a new job, and so I stayed because I was friends with the Hoyers. Spent the night there, and I think we went and hung out, right?
Mm-hmm. He finally realized I existed.
Yeah, which I don't know. Maybe that entire trip was like an excuse to come see Cassie out. So.
And then yeah, like he asked me for my number, kind of nonchalantly, and then started calling me.
Can I make this one up? I don't. If you can remind me.
I do remember. There's really not anything very special about it.
This was at Howard Payne, right?
We were in Houston. I was in Houston, I guess. Maybe spring break. I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, like we're just like hanging out at his place, and I think he starts asking me like what I think about love or something like that, and then then you're like, I think you said something like, I'm asking you this because I just wanted to tell you, Cassie, like I love you or something.
Yeah, that sounds right. We had dated for a while, and then actually we spent a time where we'd stop seeing each other. But really, when I had made up my mind to begin pursuing Cassie again, I really feel like at that time, like I'd already made up my mind that I wanted Cassie as my wife. Finally, just the right time presented itself. Cassie was in Europe for a study abroad program, and she was going to be in Paris with a friend of hers, and so I thought that it would be appropriate if I were to meet her in Paris, because she always had spoken of having just this like an infatuation with Paris, and so I thought, you know, what better time than now, and so I asked off for work about, I'm trying to remember how far in advance I had done that, and I booked a flight to Paris.
Well, they turned him down to get time off.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And because I had requested the time off, probably I'd requested it when she had planned her trip for Europe, but at that time that was in my mind for the reason for this trip. But then it was like a week, maybe like a week out at my workplace, and they basically told me that I could have that time if I wanted it, and I went home and I checked for flights, and there was available flights that was, it wasn't going to cost me an arm and a leg. And at that moment, I really felt that, you know, God was definitely working this out for me. And so I booked the flight, and I had like 4 days to find an engagement ring, because at that time I hadn't bought the engagement ring because I was waiting for either her to be back in the States or to wait to be over there. The way things worked out is I had originally planned. I had told my parents. I had actually told my parents on which night that I was planning on proposing, and just due to some other circumstances of our trip, it didn't work out. The last night that we had in Paris, I went with Cassie and a friend of hers to the Eiffel Tower, and we had been touring around like all day, like were we at the Louvre that same day?
No, we went to Versailles.
Okay, Versailles, that's right. She has much better memory than I do. And we went to the Eiffel Tower, and we went up to the second level of the Eiffel Tower, and it was about 6 o'clock in the evening. And my plan was to wait until dusk to propose when everything begins to light up. And I didn't know this at the time, but apparently in Paris, at that time of the year, it got dark. The time that it gets dark is like closer to like 10 o'clock at night or something. It was like really late. So we're up there, and I'm stalling because I wanted this to work out perfectly. And then suddenly it begins to rain, and it begins to get very cold. And I thought, this is not the way that this is supposed to happen. And I remember at that time, I was thinking, okay, either I go ahead and propose now, or I continue to wait. And I remember actually, I was praying. I was like, God, Lord, please have this work out. It's fine if it rains right now, but whenever it becomes dark, I need this to all clear up. And sure enough, I chose to wait, and I waited till the sun had set. And the rain, it subsided, and so we were up there, and we were freezing cold.
It was so cold.
And so then I told Cassie that I didn't just bring her up to the Eiffel Tower just to see the lights, because that's what I've been saying, was that I wanted to be able to see the lights nice at night, and I said it's because I wanted to ask her to be my wife. And so then I had the engagement ring that I had for the trip, and I dropped down to one knee, proposed to her, and prayed that I wouldn't drop it and have it fall like 200 feet to the ground. So, because we're standing on the edge of the Eiffel Tower.
I had hoped that if he was going to propose, it was going to be on the Eiffel Tower. And so, like at the beginning of the day in Versailles, it looked like we weren't actually going to be able to get back in time to go to the Eiffel Tower. And so I was even a little bit kind of concerned because I was like, oh, I'd really like that to happen on the Eiffel Tower. And surely he is planning on proposing on the Eiffel Tower.
No pressure.
So we make it to the Eiffel Tower, and then we go up, and he starts talking about how he wants to wait, for the lights, and I'm like, oh no, okay. Because I've been in Paris for a few days now, and so I'm realizing it's not going to get dark for a few hours. So actually, my friend and I go to the bathroom, and I tell her at that point, I'm like, I think Tucker is stalling because I think he wants to propose. So I think we just need to go with this.
It wasn't obvious at all. That was so smooth.
So luckily Lauren is now on board with like waiting for the lights.
Otherwise I would have had a mutiny on my hands.
So yeah, finally like Lauren and I kind of start dropping hints about how dark it is. We love the lights. The lights are so pretty. It was really, really pretty, and it was getting dark. We were wanting Tucker to know that,
It was dark enough.
It was dark enough. It was good. And then it was really sweet when he finally did, or not finally, but when he did propose. It was a good wait. Like I was actually at that point really happy that he had persevered and waited for the lights because it made a much better